The beautiful blue skies and the morning sun are mocking us right now. I know you guys are going to get tired of hearing this, but we had the most rainy day I think I've ever witnessed. It poured all day long yesterday. Everything's flooded. The main state road down here had orange signs up, and you had to go around because the ditches just get overwhelmed. And the rain has changed my entire plan for the week. This wood I made yesterday. The plan was just to get this stacked. My high school kid was on schedule to show up. He was going to have this trailer unloaded, and then I would be back to making wood again this morning. But the weather has changed everything, guys. This is where I've been loading the logs onto the live deck, and the driveway stops like right here, and we're into the mud. I have just been, forklifting these with the grapple right onto the live deck, and I got as far as I could yesterday when the rain started. You would have seen this pile practically gone. I'm getting pretty good at making wood this time of year. My high school help has really been big, getting everything stacked and getting that trailer emptied. But I could get my tractor in here, I'm pretty sure. But it's just the way things go. It's just with all the mud and tracking the mud and maybe even getting some of these logs into the mud, I'm just gonna not make wood today and let this dry out. So I'm just gonna stack wood myself. I have some deliveries that are going out tomorrow, one of which involves resplitting, which I don't care to do, but you got to do it. So why don't you hang out with me for a little bit? Let's stack some wood and we'll talk. Let's go this way. I think one thing that we do good at Ohio Wood Burner is our firewood never touches the ground. So I use these dump trailers as a wheelbarrow. It not only keeps the wood out of the mud, but it also saves your back because we're not picking stuff up off the ground. We can just work at our regular height, and I can back it right up to where we're stacking, and I can just get it stacked and then move on. It has been my practice to just stack wood on pallets, and if you haven't ever looked, it's easy to find free pallets. They are everywhere, and whenever I see some out, I pick them up. There are two locations that are on my way home from deliveries, and I always drive by them, and if there's pallets out, I throw them in the truck and bring them back. They last for a couple seasons, and then you got to replace them. Do I like stacking wood? Sometimes. Probably that would explain why I spend as much money as I do to have the wood stacked, to do it for me. It does, I think, take it out of you after a while, but it's also a good workout. For like early morning stuff like this, I can have this stacked in probably 45 minutes without all this talking. But you get your heart rate up. You don't have to go for a morning walk. You don't have to join a club. It's not heavy lifting, but it's repetitive lifting. It is healthy for you, but it becomes a drag after a while. Usually though, I find myself solving all of the world's problems when I'm stacking wood. I think that's one of the nice things too about having a machine that makes exactly 16-inch pieces. Okay, it looks great, but it does help with stacking. I get them to lay nice on your stack. You have that nice straight front face. And the way I do it, I just lay them all like this and pick them up, and I'll just push it against my chest, and that straightens them up, and that allows them to get stacked nicely. I think stacking wood is a good bonding opportunity too, because it's a low impact exercise. You can shoot the breeze with whoever you're with. But I've noticed that when I stack wood, I'm usually by myself. I find myself talking to myself. You know, I'm self-employed, so I call that having a staff meeting. I forgot, in this pile I got some cherry, not a lot, but I'm just moving the cherry to the other side. And it's just my way of sorting by species. Stacking accomplishes a lot of things. It's a way of cleaning the wood. It's a way of helping it dry better. And it's also a good way to sort by species. I have found that if you can separate your prime stuff, you know, your ash, cherry, hickory, out of your average, you know, your maples and beech and all, you can get extra money for your firewood. And one of the things I think we should all try if you're in the firewood business is how can you maximize your profits in selling your firewood. Separating by species is one of them. So this is my cherry, and I have an account that only wants cherry, and they are not sensitive to seasoned, so this is a little bit green, and that's why it's just stacked here neatly. It'll be easy for me to get loaded when that time comes. I think stacking too gives you a chance, you know, to find like odd shapes like this. Nothing wrong with this piece, but I'll set this off to the side because, you know, there's always that time where you got a section that's not laying right, and this would be ideal to fill in a void and then keep your pile nice and level. Like this. I do hope the day comes where a poof machine is invented, where you can just push the button and poof, all your wood is stacked. But until that day, this is the way it has to be done. But if we can't get a poof machine made, guys, and I'm serious about this, you know, we can put robots on Mars, but we can't invent a machine that stacks wood. I think it's possible, and I don't think it's, you know, far out there like a poof machine. There's got to be a way to automate wood stacking, you know. And man, there's a lot of cool stuff out there and a lot of innovative ideas where we repurpose those cages from IBC totes, those big bulk bags. I think all of them have their advantages and disadvantages. As long as I keep my wood stacked, I don't know if those are viable solutions. I just can't help to think that mold is gonna start up inside of those things. So that's what I'm saying. There's gotta be a way that we can invent a machine that stacks firewood. Wouldn't that be a great idea? But I hear a lot, you know, from just comments about stacking. You know, you touch the wood too much, it takes too much time, it's too hard on your body. And think all of them are valid complaints, but you know, the way that we try to sell firewood, stacking is crucial. That's what makes our firewood as nice as it is and clean. You know, I've never once had a complaint, you know, from muddy wood or leaving a big pile of trash on a driveway. So stacking, you know, getting that wood single file rows off the ground, out of the mud, it's just the way to go. No insects, you know, because ants, they want water, and when that wood's stacked up off the ground, they leave. I just keep doing this and pulling the wood out of the back of the trailer, and then once it gets down, I will lift the trailer and then stack it like that. It becomes like one of those self-feeding machines. Man, but what a nice day, huh? Wasn't like yesterday. Cold, rain, and rain. And it rained all last night too. It never once stopped. I get enough of the wood pulled out of the back. That's just so when I tilt the trailer up, it just doesn't all fall down into the mud. So let's get this trailer up in the air, and that'll help me get this stacking finished. The solar panel is a home run. It really works. I can't think of the last time I've used my battery charger from the house. All right. Looks good. That's what I'm saying. This is all from lessons learned, you know. First time I did this, I just went ahead and tilted it straight up in the air, and all the half of the load fell down onto the ground. So I dig out the back of the trailer and then lift it up, and then this just makes stacking so much easier now, guys. I think there is a lot of things to be said about stacking firewood though. Serious. If there wasn't any value in it, there's no way I would do this. I would just leave it in this gigantic pile like everyone else, and then I would scoop it up with a front end loader and dump the wood and the 6 inches of mud that was underneath it into the back of a truck and go deliver it. What I've learned though about value-added firewood is that the little things that you do can really set you apart from all the other firewood services in your area, and allow you to command a higher price. And that is the key, you know, in any business, is maximizing your value. And I have always said, to each their own. You know, if you make money selling volume and you know, just it's all machine touch, and you're just dumping it on the ground at the customers, go for it. I just did my own calculus and realized there's no way I could be profitable doing that. It's just me. I don't have the machines. I don't have the labor. I don't have the space to be profitable like that. So my job was to figure out how can I maximize, you know, every last penny out of every last stick of firewood. And I'm serious. Stacking is the way to go. There's just no escaping it. Okay, so yes, it is absolutely a time, it's a time constraint. It really is. It's an investment. I would also argue, though, that you kind of get it back when you're loading, you know, when you are loading up a truck from a stacked row of firewood, it goes fast. Versus if you just left it into a pile, because you know what it's like. You got to bend down and pick up 2 pieces and start flipping them. When it is stacked, you can, you know, pull out about 8 to 10 pieces all at one time, and it goes so much faster. You can't escape the fact too that it's just the best way to dry wood. It's in a single file. The sun's hitting both sides of that pile. The ants and the insects stay out of it. You get an occasional mouse and some snakes, but few and far between. It's the way to go. And I think if you are selling value-added firewood, you got to stack your wood. I have found that if you are complaining about stacking firewood while you are stacking firewood, the next thing you know, you're all done. You know, I think about if I were to buy those bags, which I'm not convinced about them, just because of how long we let our wood sit. If I were to, to buy the expense of those bags, and then they have a 1.5 to 2 season lifespan on them, you know, there is that Posh Pack Fix, which I think is really cool. I would love to have one of those, but I don't know if I got the right setup. I think you need to be on pavement for one of those. If I were to drive one of those stacks down my timber road, I'm afraid it would blow out and I would have firewood laying all over the place. When I think of the expenses of all those, and the costs of replacing the bags and the costs of buying the netting for that pack fix, I'm just saying, paying a high school kid $20 to stack a quart of firewood, I don't think you can beat it. It's the best way to go. And that's what I do. I stack wood myself. I do enjoy it. Yeah, just like everything else, there's good days and bad. If I do it myself, I get myself in a good workout. I kind of feel better when I'm done than when I started. Kind of hard to explain, but the one thing though is, I usually, when I'm stacking wood, I'm doing it all by myself. And then my mind starts to wander, so like I said, I'm saving the world and I'm solving all the world's problems. I'm picking imaginary fights, whatever it is, just to keep myself entertained. Headphones, listening to music, or listen to podcasts. I understand there's a really good firewood podcast out there called The Woodhounds. Maybe you guys should check that out sometime. That's it, man. That's stacking firewood. And I think it is probably, so, everything that you do is important. All right. Let's not avoid that reality. The species that you choose, the size that you split it, the length that you cut it, all of these things play a role. And they especially play a role for us here at Ohio Woodburner. But I don't know. I think stacking, it's got to be in the top 3, if not the top, of the most important things that we do that separates us from all of the other companies that are out there. Hand stacking. When you drop off a load of firewood at customers and man, it looks as good as what ours does simply because we have it stacked, there's nothing beating it. I routinely look at my firewood and I go, this firewood looks awesome, man. And it does. So I think that's just a way of showing our pride in our work, and it's labor intensive, but we do it, man. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. Things have just gotten weird with our production and some of the things that I was wanting to film and bring to you. The weather's not cooperating. Again, the blue skies and the sunshine they're mocking us today, or they're laughing at us for what happened to us the last few days. All right, guys, I hope everyone has a great day.